Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so hi, welcome to our podcast, The Real Deal with Zaz. I'm Siri, and
I'm Esuk.
yay, how are you? I heard something about a wisdom tooth.
Yeah, I'm on a mini high.
Oh no.
Yeah, I pulled out my upper right wisdom tooth
Ah, okay.
on Friday. Yeah, and the dentist gave me these nice pills. So
That's why you were. No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm like, ooh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on like this mini hike, but right now I'm on my way down.
No, that's not good.
So yeah, kind of. Let's see how this episode will go.
It will be fine.
It will be fine.
It will be
Yes.
fine.
How are you
I'm good. I'm good.
on this rainy day?
Rainy day. No, I'm actually good.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about dating and being single in our 30s, like in general terms. Because on our first episode, we spoke a little bit about being single during COVID. So today we're going to talk about a little bit more in general, how it is to be single, living on our own in our 30s, the difference between maybe dating when we were younger and now that we're a little bit older, and a little bit on how it is to date.
And like how like society treats us
Definitely.
and not having kids. Do we want kids?
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting episode.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
With me on my mini high.
On your mini high. Well, so that's good.
That is good. So, okay, we both are in our 30s. What do you feel like are the biggest differences from like dating in your 20s and now?
Yeah. I think when I was in my 20s, I was kind of just living my life. You didn't actually think about settling down and all that. That was kind of like you were just living, you were in relationships, but they were just something to do, sort of, and someone you like.
Something to do.
That's so nice.
I love that. Something to do. Yeah.
Something to do. But with someone you like at that point, but I didn't actually see myself, seeing the future with that person and stuff.
Or like settling down
In
your
having
early
kids
20s.
and all
Yeah.
that. But then you get to your mid 30s or beginning of your 30s, and
For you.
for me,
Right?
this is for me, yeah. And then you kind of get this, oh, I need to figure out if I'm gonna settle down, if I'm gonna have kids. That will happen, has to happen in now, sort of.
Okay.
In that period of time, you're starting to plan it, sort of, yeah. And then you get to your so you get to your end of your 30s, and then you kind of have to rethink everything that you where you're at and the dating, as we were talking about, because when you're like desperate to find someone to settle down with. No.
Not desperate. We are not desperate.
No. But some people are.
Yes,
Yeah,
this
some
is true.
people are.
We talked a little about it in episode 1.
Yeah. I wasn't desperate, not like that.
No,
but,
no,
but,
I'm
but-
just kidding.
Yeah, I know. But you get that desperation and you're
Yes.
trying to find someone. I think so. When you're dating in your 30s, you have that in the back of your head that, oh, I have to settle down. I have to. So a lot of us, maybe I think I had like a checklist sort of for what you wanted in that person.
Yeah,
And
I
it
think
could-
most do.
Most
Right?
do, yeah, on what you want, and then you kind of how you want to. Do I see myself with this person settling down, having kids, and buying a house? And
You can imagine like the future with that person,
And I
right?
think when you're in your 30s, that's more like what you think about the most actually when you're dating someone, because you are at that age as you have to start thinking about it, because there's a biological clock in this as well. So But I think, yeah,
And also, like, because in our 30s, we know, you know more what you want and what you don't want, right?
definitely you really know.
Especially what you don't want.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, especially for me, because I'm like, oh hell no.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is why also we make lists, or we have high standards, etc. Because we know, like, you know, what we want and what we don't want. And I know I have a really good friend. She turned 40 last September. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she, you know, single for years, like lived her life, partied, dated, everything. Like, she was really, really happy, right?
Yeah.
And then she kind of got in contact with this old friend, sort of like they
Reconnected.
reconnected
Yeah.
or whatever, you know. And it was like during Christmas. So yeah, I met him on New Year's Eve,
Ooh.
and we were together. We had a blast, and then from that day, they have not been like
Apart.
apart, separated from each
Aw.
other. And they are getting married, they bought a place together and everything. And it's like, boom. I think that when you find your match, and this is for me
Oh,
personally,
yeah, yeah.
when you like find your match, you know, I mentioned earlier in a previous episode that I have all these walls up, I'm very guarded, you know, no feelings and everything. But I think that for me, as well as for many others, that when you find your match, your soulmate, you know, your partner, your best friend, then all of your walls will just, you know, go
Yeah.
down, and you won't be guarded, and you're like vulnerable, and and it's okay, because that person is your match. And I'm like, I'm totally fine with just waiting it out until I find my match. I am not going to settle,
No.
you know?
And be like desperately trying to find someone.
Exactly, just so that I can get married and have kids and everything. So yeah,
No, because I think when you, as you said, meet that match, I think it's easy. It doesn't have, it's not complicated.
It's
Because
just easy.
dating can be complicated.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
and
why? Like,
so,
no.
and that's like also when you get to your 30s and a little bit older, you don't want that complication anymore when it comes to dating. You're more like, you know what, I know what I want, as you said. You know what you want, and you don't want to play those games anymore.
No.
You kind of
Or like
just,
date for like years and like,
just like
oh,
don't go
maybe.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think like your friend, that she met that person in her 40s, that's amazing, because she waited and she was happy.
She
Yeah.
did.
And I
That's the
think as
thing.
long as you're happy and you live, like, the key, I think, is to just live your life and not be like, now I am not wanting that person to sort of help me settle, if you know what I mean. I'm already happy settled, because I have a house, I have a good job, I have my friends and my family. I know where I am and I know where I stand, you know, in terms of those things. So now you just want to find someone that can fit into your life as it is now, and just, yeah, make you happy.
That can fit into your life, and then you kind of can make your own journey together, right?
Yeah, 'cause-
That's the thing. And but that person has to fit in your life.
Yeah.
That yeah. Before, I think
In
in
your
my 20s,
yeah.
it was more like us together, and like, you know, let's build something together in the future. And but now I'm like, no, that person has to
Yeah.
fit in my life.
Yeah, and then you know, you kind of develop that relationship together. But in the early 30s as well, you kind of have to, you try and find that person that you can build all of these things with. But when you're so, because my life is really good right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like desperately needing someone to make me happy. I am truly happy, and I think that's what you get from being a little bit older and being single and dating. But
That's the
it
thing,
might
yeah.
be harder as well to date because of, you know, as we mentioned, like society and all that, they have social norms that you don't have to follow them, but a lot of people do want to follow them, and yeah,
That's the thing. And also like the difference I see now is like in your 20s it was all fun and games and everything,
something
right?
to do.
Something to do, but
Yeah.
it was fun, right?
Yeah.
Meeting different guys and like getting that experience and everything. But like the thing is that, the whole point of dating is to find your potential future partner, right?
Yep.
That's kind of why we date, sort of, right? Or like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how society kind of makes it out
Yeah, and
to be, sort of.
but you
Yeah.
do want to meet that person that
That's the thing, and you
Yeah.
want those different experiences with the different types of men. Like okay, he
Or
treated
women,
me,
if
or women, or whatever
Yeah.
you prefer.
Yeah, yeah.
We respect all.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, of course.
yeah.
We are.
But yeah, I think it's just good to get that experience, and then in your 20s it's just fun. It's fun, and all the games and all that and stuff. But in your 30s you're like, hell no,
No,
like
we're done with
we're
that.
done with that. And society kind of wants you to find somebody, settle down, and then you have kids, and that's it. And I'm like, but okay, so
That didn't fit.
that's it. I'm kind of like, no, but that doesn't fit in my life.
No.
Like, no, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't fit your norms, sort of. No, it didn't fit me either.
Yeah.
Like I'm always been. I've never actually wanted my own kids. Like I wanted either to adopt, or I was like, okay, if I get kids or if I get pregnant, that's fine. I adapt my life to that. But if I don't have them, I am fine with that as well. So I've kind of had that
Like mentality,
about it throughout my 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I mean, okay, so I had my last relationship, it was really good. Like he treated me like a queen. That list that I mentioned in
the
that,
first
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
That's why you have those standards.
Like open my door. I didn't get any doors hit in my face. Yeah. Super, super good guy. He has a son. And I'm still friends with both. Great relationship. So the thing is that we tried hard to have kids, right?
Yeah.
But I can't. Yeah, no, it's fine. But I didn't know until we broke up. So, that really kind of was one of the factors that ruined us, sort of, because that can ruin a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw him as a tool. Like, at the end, he was just a tool for me.
You were just trying to get
Yes.
pregnant the whole time.
Yeah. I think for me, like, since I am adopted, I really wanted my own kids.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I really wanted it. And then I'm like, okay, but we can't, I mean, I can adopt and everything. But in this country, in Norway, it's super hard.
It's
like,
very hard.
whew, it's like they
You have to
kind
be
of
married
don't
for,
want
like, a
you to get, want you to adopt. But yeah.
No, you have to be like married for a certain period of time, and you
Have
to
so
have
much money.
and it's
You
it's
can't
a
be
process.
single and adopt and
No,
everything. Yeah.
It's a whole process.
It's a whole process, and you can't like have any like almost genetic like sicknesses or illnesses or anything. It's like, okay, yeah. So it's a tough process, but yeah, I don't know. But I am thinking, and I have discussed this with my parents like recently, that because like a lot of women they go over to Denmark,
Yeah.
right, to have a baby.
Like that.
Because
process
the egg
there.
process and the sperm donor process and all that process. And I'm like, okay. And that friend I mentioned, Liz. Well, I didn't mention her name last time, but I mentioned her last time. She has started that process.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
All for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's Asian, and she's like, I want an Asian baby.
Oh.
But yeah,
But I can see that you want that.
yeah, because I've always wanted kids. But then when I like had my best time in my 30s, because dating in your 30s is also fun.
It's
It
really
is
cool.
fun. I believe that dating in your 30s is way much fun than dating in your 20s.
And probably your 40s as well.
Yeah,
Because you're more comfortable.
That's the thing. You're more comfortable. You're like, yeah.
and you're like, you're more secure on not only what you want, but on yourself as well. And you kind of have the guts to say, you know what, I don't want this happening to me. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna move on, and you know that you're gonna be happy no matter what happens.
Exactly.
Because your life is like in a good place.
Yes.
So.
But you kind of have to be in a good place for that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
but that matters in every situation, though, I think.
Yeah.
Even in your 20s.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Dating in our 30s is awesome.
We just have to kind of, well, now it's opening up here more. And I think from next week, the bars and restaurants and stuff
you can
are
actually
opening.
go out and have a drink.
Ooh, we have to update our listeners and viewers on that, because
how's that? How are you going to be on the first meeting with people? I don't even know how that works anymore. So
and
we'll
flirting
see.
and everything. Ooh,
I'm going to be happy just seeing people. That's awesome. So.
And being able to actually be more comfortable to date, because I think that was more for me that I guess I couldn't really express last time or when we talked about it, is just that you could date, but I wasn't really comfortable like meeting people
during COVID.
Yeah,
you
know, like I take social distancing very serious.
Yep, you have to. It's good.
I mean, you know. But anyways, we were talking about kids and everything and babies. So yeah, I think that I have just a few more couple of years until I turn 40. So I think I told my parents that I had a talk with them. I think that when I do turn 40, if I don't, if I haven't found my match by then, I think I'll go to Denmark.
But that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I need help. I can't get pregnant naturally.
No.
I mean, I could. It just there would be like a miracle. And yeah.
You know, miracles happen.
Well, not when I was in my last relationship, but yeah.
But at least you have a plan, and that's good. And now you're probably very comfortable with that, and you're like, you're not stressing because you have a plan.
I am not stressing. Oh, yes. So that was before I went off topic a little. I was very content, like in the midst of me being single and having fun. And then when I became single, I was like, I didn't really know a lot of single, girlfriends or guy friends or whatever. So, but when I did, I suddenly had like this huge gang of friends, like single friends, and some are not, but they're just always with us, right? So, but I was just having like the best time of my life, right? So I didn't really I was so happy with my life. I didn't really think about like, oh, babies or a relationship or anything, right? But now I think that after this lockdown, you get to think a lot, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to set a limits, and maybe when I turn 40, then I'll make that decision then.
Yeah.
So yeah, why not?
Okay. But have you ever felt like the pressure from the society, or is that something? Because as I mentioned a little bit about the social norms, I think it's kind of expected of you to live that sort of life and have kids, and you have to have a good job, and you have to find that perfect person. And sometimes when you live alone and you're at the end of your 30s, people wonder, what's going on there? you know.
Yeah, you get a lot of questions. I think that you get a lot of questions in the beginning, sort of,
Yeah.
and then people just kind of like just give up, or they're like, okay, whatever. But I think the thing is that nowadays, I think people are in society in general have kind of like eased up a little. I
I think
feel
so. Yeah,
it's
I think so
not
too.
as like weird now than it was before. You know?
No, and I think it's more acceptable to be living your life a little bit differently than what the norms say that you have to.
Do you think that's because of COVID? Or do you think it's
Um,
just people have changed?
I think people have changed a little bit because, and I was talking to my mom about this thing with kids and all that, and she said, I I know I can see that you're happy and you're living your life the way that you want to do, and that makes me happy. And as soon as I had that conversation with my family, I was like, okay, I'm fine. I live my
Yeah.
life the way that I want to live my life.
Yeah.
And you don't really feel the pressure from people around you.
Yeah.
And then you can ease up on the whole thing about society. And now I'm like, oh, I'm living my best life. Everything's awesome. So I think that was good for me to have that conversation where I was like, they are not expecting anything else than me being happy.
Yeah.
And that's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, same for me. Like I guess we both have, families that are like, okay, if you're happy, then we're happy. Like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. And the thing is that your parents, they have grandkids, right?
They have
And
grandkids.
my parents also, they have one, but they at least have my nephew, right? So it's like, okay, whatever. But the point is that both of our parents are like, you know what? If you're happy and you're living life, then we're happy. And if you need anything, we are here. And, and at least they're not like those Asian parents are like 19. Are you going to have a baby soon? Get married and have a baby. No, I'm like
No.
way too old to, yeah.
Yeah. No, we're too old.
We're too old. No, but I really appreciate that
Oh, I appreciate that
we
too.
have that support. And now I think like my friends especially, they're like there's so many that are single that they're like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, whatever,
Half of my
yeah.
group is like single.
Yeah.
And no, they don't want kids, and it's like, yeah,
It's like, yeah,
you want to
okay,
live
whatever.
your life. So I
Yeah.
think it's more, acceptable now to sort of live your life the way that you want to live your life, and that's awesome. And then that's how it should be, because there's no one else's business on how you live your life.
Yeah.
And as long as you're happy, if I could see my friend that was single, I have some friends that are like really really want a boyfriend, and they try really hard to find a boyfriend, and I was like, maybe you're trying a little bit too hard. And
But how hard? Like, what can I ask? Like, you don't have to go like in details, but like
a lot they
some
go on,
examples.
like a
on-
lot of Tinder dates and a lot of like just not happy in any situation that they meet. And
Okay,
it's
so
just-
because they're not like finding their match,
yeah,
sort of, but they're
then
like
they have
they're
their
looking, they're
They
looking.
still have the list and the criteria. So I try to say, what if you just like don't have that list and you just go and have fun and try
Ooh.
and see what happens if you don't have any expectation for anything.
Ooh.
And yeah, but and then
Has that kind of worked out?
I don't know if they took my advice.
Oh, okay.
But
There aren't any updates. Oh, I want updates now.
I don't know. I was just, but no. So you do have, my group of friends is kind of like that and divided, and then you have those who are like happily married, happily in a relationship, and I'm happy for them as well. But if I saw my friend, or if I saw you that you were unhappy and you really, really wanted kids, I would probably be like, okay. Then I would feel like, oh, sorry, what can I do? Because as long as I see that people are happy the way they are, then that's
Then why bother them? Sort of why
then
break
they're
something that's really
happy and
good. Yeah.
they're happy and they don't have to change anything about their life. So
That's the thing, yeah. And like also like I see that like when a lot of my friends did settle down, I felt that they just settled down.
yeah,
Also like a combo of like they were a little desperate, and also because of society back then, saying back then, like it was like,
It's back then.
50 years
It's
ago,
back
but
then. Yeah.
so I really feel that society nowadays has really changed. It's so modern now. It's kind of like it's just
Especially
switched.
here.
Especially here.
That
Yeah.
doesn't apply to every country.
No,
in
no,
it.
no, no, no.
But in
Just here.
Norway, where we live right now, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I really like it. I like the new change. And also like I feel that, or I've noticed that I'm like on round 2 now. Like
Are you?
people, yeah, because like in your 20s it was so easy to meet people or guys not only through dating apps, but through like friends or parties and dinners or work or whatever. It was just always new people to meet, right? And now you're kind of like, especially now because you can't really meet people in person, so it's more harder. But I feel like, yeah. So now I'm like on round 2, like, oh, I have this friend that or he's getting a divorce, or he's a divorcee or whatever. I'm like, okay, so I'm around 2.
Round 2, but you had that. Oh, I have a friend, or if you're with your parents' friends or something. Yeah, my son.
Yeah.
My son, and I was like, what if I liked your daughter?
Like, ooh.
But I don't. So
yeah. I did that once. I went on a couple of dates with someone my parents know.
Yeah.
Didn't end well. So not gonna do that again. Okay. So let's go back to like dating in our 20s versus dating in our 30s.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you really miss or don't miss, or like any major?
I remember dating in my 20s, early 30s. I was kind of like insecure, and you have that in the back of your head. Like in my 20s, it was, as I said early on this episode, it was fun. It was free. You didn't actually thinking about the whole settling down thing.
Yeah.
And then you get to your early 30s and you have to start thinking about it. Well, and society makes you actually think
That's
about it.
the thing, society or in family and friends, right?
Yeah. It kind of reminds you that, you know what, you have to start thinking about it.
You're getting old.
If you do want to have kids and start a family and all that. So I think being at that age was kind of a little bit stressful, because it was always a little bit like you're trying to date guys that
fit
into the pattern that I was living, or fitting into the list sort of that you have, because we all have lists. We had lists. I don't have that as much anymore, but because you had these factors in the back of your head all the time, but when I realized that, I want to be happy with myself first and be happy where I am and stuff, and not worry about it, because these relationships didn't work, and that because I was putting too much expectation on them. But so now in like after coming to that conclusion and being a little bit older and all that, I'm like, I love dating, I love meeting new people, and I love my life.
Yeah. How when was the like the longest or the more longer relationships?
That was
within your
like,
20s or in your 30s?
it was like late 20s going over early 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when that ended, it was kind of like, oh, I need to find someone to actually start something with, and then you start stressing about it, and it's all that. But then now that, no, I think, as we said, now we know what we don't want.
Yeah.
And we're happy knowing what we want. And, I am happy living like where I am right now in my life with everything that I have. And I know that when you meet someone, what he's actually going to bring into my life. So I think being, dating like after 35 is awesome, because you don't have that, you're so comfortable in yourself at that point.
Yeah.
That you know what you want, what you don't want, where you want this to go, and that you're going to be okay no matter what happens, because you have everything sorted in your life. So yeah.
Yeah, I think because that list of what you want, you always have like, kind of like the same or similar like traits of what you want in a guy, sort of,
Yeah.
and looks and stuff. That kind of like some like maybe tomorrow they change a little, but they're kind of like always they will remain the same sort of
Yeah.
throughout the years, right? But I think that the thing is that we're trying to say is when you kind of like hit a certain age and maturity
Yeah.
is when you realize what you do not want.
Yeah.
That's the thing, what you do not want in a guy, in a relationship, in yourself when you're in a relationship. That's the thing, because in your 20s you're just
You don't know.
you don't know, you're so young and you're not mature enough to know anything, because you're like a student, you're trying to get your a career, everything, and then society and or maybe family and friends are like, you have to settle down, you have to find somebody, a partner, you have to have kids, and then you're like, oh, okay, no,
It's
that
stressful.
all that on top of everything else. It's like, but I just love how society here in Norway, how it kind of treats youngsters now, sort of. It's totally different, and but I really enjoy also seeing how there are so many different people
Yeah.
enjoying their lives, and also couples, right? I know a lot of couples that are married, not married, but they're together and they don't have kids.
Yeah, a lot of my friends do too.
Right?
Yeah.
They like one of my good fellow cats in the States, Suji. Hi, Suji. She's married, and their babies are two cats.
Oh,
So pork chop and Sora. Yeah.
that's cool. But it's more
Right? So like
and
why?
it is more acceptable now, and society
Yes.
is
Yes.
kind of evolving. So that's not, they don't look at you differently when you don't want that.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's a-okay.
It's a-okay. And it's also okay whoever you want to date. Like if it's a girl or a boy or both or anything, everything is like, that's okay. Just be yourself and be happy and be comfortable with who you are. So yeah,
And who you're with, yeah.
who you're with and who makes you happy. That's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So I guess to wrap it up is
Yeah.
love yourself.
Yeah. Always.
Try to be happy with that person you're with.
Be happy where you're at in your life. And then yeah.
I like that. And also, so we are ending this month, which is May. This month has been busy. It's been it's AAPI, no, Asian oh my God. I just forgot what it stands for.
Yeah. And it mental health
Mental Health Awareness Month. Also, Mother's Day for the States. Yay!
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. We love, it's,
Yeah.
overdue. But we love you all, moms. Good job. And I love you, mom. You love your mom too? Yeah.
I
Okay,
love my
okay.
mom.
Give her a shout out. Give her a shout out.
Hey, Mom.
And not next episode, but the episode after that, we are going to have our first guest.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yay! And then we're going smoothly, going into June. What is happening in June here in Norway?
It is Pride.
Pride Month!
Pride
Yay!
Month, which we are gonna celebrate.
Yeah, because we fully respect and support that. So, yeah.
Very much so. I think, as I said, I think everyone should love who they want to love and
Yeah.
be with who they want to be with, and as long as you're
Kids,
happy,
no kids, pets, no pets,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
and whatever you identify as, that's what makes you happy.
I mean, there are limits, right? Because there's like in Japan, there are like some dudes that marry dolls, but
Yeah. Well, if that makes him happy, then
Okay.
and it doesn't affect my life in any way or anything.
and or harm anybody.
Don't harm anyone.
I don't know.
Be
But
nice.
like, okay.
Yeah. I saw this woman who was married to an airplane, actually.
Airplane. Whoa.
Yeah, I'll show you the article. That was really funny.
Okay.
That was
That-
her husband. She loved that
Okay.
airplane. So, but it made her happy. So I guess we're accepting for
Hey,
that as well.
if
Yeah.
I could marry all my K-poppers or K-drama
I
actors
thought you were already married to them. Okay. No, I'm not gonna say
with the slight overbite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait for that one.
Wait for that one. Okay.
And then we actually in June we're gonna have an episode about K-pop.
Are we? Okay. Okay. We are. No, no, yes. We are. We are. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, happy May and
May.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.